Hi, welcome to Instagram Live. Welcome to my Instagram Live Summer Conversation Series. This is something I dreamt up last month, wanting to create a more easy breezy summer vibe for the podcast and to invite some of you who are here joining me on my Instagram feed and other feeds to have a listen in on some of our conversations that we're having here in the podcast. I have been so lit up by so many beautiful things happening in the lives of the people in my midst. The ways that they are moving forward with their dream, their purpose, their soul work, and the things that are coming up for them as really interesting insights that they have uncovered over the last year. And I thought it would be a really lovely opportunity for us to look at what has been happening, what we have learned after what we call in business H1, the first half of the year. Summertime, here we are in this full moon actually as well, which is kind of appropriate. It's a time for us to look at it, to digest, and then to really allow those lessons to absorb and to release those things that perhaps didn't work so well for us in the first place. And so today I have a special guest that's coming to me who is also a podcaster, who's someone that I met at a live event last year, and she's about to join us now. And we had such a beautiful conversation. Birthdays are so close to each other. In fact, she just celebrated her birthday, and mine is next week. So that is super fun. Charlene, welcome.
Hi, Diva. I'm trying to keep this higher, but
it's okay.
Sorry, my tripod is broken.
Oh, it's all good. You look amazing. This is Charlene Thomas, and I'm so grateful that you decided to join me today for the Instagram Live Summer Conversation.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
It's such a fun way for us to connect. And we have been, texting. We've spoken over Zoom. We are always in each other's Instagrams. So I thought,
it's been a long time now.
Yeah, it's been, I think we met a year ago at Suzette Fallon's Network and Chill event.
Yes.
Where we dove into conversation and we kind of had to get pulled away into the activities of the evening because we were just so deep in what we're doing and our backgrounds. And we have some similarities in terms of, birthdays being one. Happy birthday weekend.
Thank you very much.
It's been so fun watching you celebrate with your sisters. It's so great. Yeah. And we also bonded over some grief. And the whole journey that grief takes us through and how we both also took that experience to create something. And you created a journal, you created a podcast, I created a podcast and a whole app and a program. And it's incredible what happens when we move through these things. And so today I was just sharing with everyone that here we are halfway through 2023, end of H1.
Yeah.
So what have been the lessons? I really would love for you first to share a little bit about what has brought you to this place of having your podcast. Maybe share your snapshot of who you are, what you love, and the purpose that is on your heart in the work that you do.
Okay, yes. So my purpose of the whole thing, how I started the podcast is, again, I lost my father and I needed a connection to talk. And even though I'm like that go-to girl, the friend that you can come to, but I felt like I didn't have anyone to go to. I felt like I needed to speak out what I felt at the moment. I didn't even think about a podcast until I remember just before he died, I said to my father, I said, you know what, I want to do something really big. And he's just like, go for it, baby girl, go for it, right? And then shortly after he died, and I just kept thinking about him. And I said, I'm going to start a podcast so I can connect with other people. I didn't build it off on grief or anything like that. I just built it on speaking my truth and really connecting with a lot of women. And you would not believe the transformation was real. It would happen around the pandemic. I connected with so many people all over the world. I get so many messages from Japan, from you would never believe the amount of love I've received from so many people around the world. So I'm super grateful for that. And what you see is what you get. I'm a very humble person. I don't hold strife when it comes to like being bitter towards people. I'm a Cancer, so I tend to isolate myself sometimes, but it's more to I guess to kind of like put myself back into the program, you know what I mean? So you may not see me for a little bit, then you see me back, you know what I mean? But that's just who I am. I just have to reset my whole life and my spirit to be my best, you know what I mean? So meeting you is like a blessing too, because you're like my twin sister. Like, it's so weird. Like, we had so much in common. I felt like I saw you through me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I saw me through you kind of thing. It's so weird. And I just feel blessed just having you, you know, in my life, in terms of like just, you know, coming to you, we talking, and just, you know, I just feel so blessed. With my podcasting and just my brand, I've been transitioning a lot, more spiritually a bit. I'm not perfect, but I've been really, really transforming into being, you know, around people who are positive, and cultivate with positive women, and just shedding the light to a lot of people. So that's how I use my brand.
Yeah. And, you know, I've been witnessing that. It's been really beautiful to see. At first, I just want to say I really received that, what you shared about our meeting. And I deeply felt that connection as well, because we had both recently lost our fathers. We had decided to start podcasts. We have a connection to our faith. Like, my Jesus faith is the thing that, you know, brought me all this way. It was a decision I made when I was a teen. It's really evolved though, because certainly, you know, there's just so many different schools of thought of everything. And really, what I love is the love ethic of Jesus. Like, that's my thing, right? And I really sense that in you. Like, it's just like, you can't hide that. It's just part of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And we all need to be able to show up and really feel truly ourselves, every single one of us.
Yes.
And I think that is where the magic lies. And so as a result, I'm not surprised that so many people have come in your midst and felt really touched and honored and
prayer.
Right? Yeah. Prayer and like, you've put yourself out there. You're just being you. You're authentically yourself. And so the people who need that message or need that encouragement, who can connect with you, are there. And so it's been such a gift to watch you also. Like, what I love so much is your Sunday brunches with the ladies. And the hat, yes, and the outfit, and like, you can tell the depth of conversation. It's so meaningful, because it's not, I just know that you're not surface level. It's like, let's go deep. Hi, I'm sorry. Let's go deep. Like, that's totally what it was like when we met. And frankly, many of the women that I met that night, and men at that event, like, there's so much more to what they're doing in the world. And I love it much. It's why I love elevating it. And I'm so glad that you could connect today.
Yay.
And I'm curious to know, like, what are some deep lessons that have really, or maybe a deep lesson that has come to you that has repeatedly kind of gotten louder and louder in the first half of this year, that you feel like you're wanting to use to move you forward?
Oh, wow. This is some of the connections. Like, I did say I had positive connections with a lot of people, but then there was some negative stuff that I had to walk away from, just because I felt like you can't be around people who don't feel the same about you. You know what I mean? You cannot. My whole thing is, I feel like people show certain things and certain levels about themselves sometimes that you just know that you have to kind of run from. And we talked about, you know, honoring Jesus, honoring love, honoring people who love you. And if people don't love you, what's the point of being around them? You can love them from afar, but you really, really need to stay connected with God and connected with yourself. And so that's what I've been going through for the last 6 months. There's some connections that I've lost, and I'm okay with it. I pray about it. And, you know, I talk about it on my podcast, you know what I mean? So that's basically one thing that I really had to walk away from. But other than that, like everything, the transformation is real. Like the connections that I've been meeting, as you know, with the brunches, my sister, she does it almost once a month. I go to her, I support her. I think the support system is super, super important. Yeah.
It's so great. And you know, what you mentioned is something that is, it's kind of like I've learned it in layers over the years, right? Like, hey, we're in our 50s now.
Oh my goodness.
We have some, right? We both just, I turned 51 next week. You turned 51 this past week.
Yeah.
Like, there's some, you know, it's just, you can't help but get through to this half of your life without maybe a little bit of wisdom dropping in, like just a little bit, right? From your lived experience, from learning from mentors, from watching what those connections and relationships that you really feel impacted by, and those that just drain you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you're talking about. Like, it isn't so much, it's not about, oh, let's just cut all of these people out of our life. It really
that's
is
not what
more
it is.
about like having this sense of knowing who is for you in this season of life and who you need to, like you say, love from afar. And what is so fascinating is because we're all on a different element of our journey.
Absolutely.
As we move through that, I've found sometimes those people who maybe we've distanced from, whether they've distanced on their own, that's often what happens. They just go off their own way and it's like, hey, love you, it's all good. Then they drift back in. Like, life is like, kind of like.
Well, why not? You're a super dope person. Why not? Like, sometimes people just, they're going through their things, they disappear, and you being a good person, of course they're going to want to come back. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at things. Like, I don't feel like I'm perfect, like any means, but at the same time, I know that I'm a great friend and I'm always there for people. Like, I'm the go-to girl, like I said. So if someone vanishes, that's okay. Maybe they're going through something. If I reach out to you, fine. You know what I mean? If it's mutual, but I understand what you're saying, because as I've gotten older, I'm not the same person. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of me getting divorced and stuff like that. In the beginning, I was so bitter, so bitter with my divorce. I couldn't even talk to my son's father and my ex-husband. But then, as I got older, I realized, I still have love for him. And obviously, we have a beautiful son together. And I'm still going to continuously be your friend. You know what I mean? And have a mutual understanding that we can get along and that we can be great co-parents. So that's something I think I learned a lot as I got older at 51. It's just a difference, like you said, the wisdom. The wisdom of getting older, like it's a different life, and it's full of life. Like, I feel like life is so short. There's so many people who are, they either got sick at our age, you know what I mean? So we really, really need to have a passion of loving life, and just not being so stressed about anything that you can't help. You know what I mean? Just move forward, live life to the fullest.
That is so, I love that you shared that about your story with your ex, and how really moving forward now with that knowledge, like, you needed to come through that. Like, there was an ending for a reason. Yeah. And sometimes, like, making the ending easier is to go through those emotions, right? And you need to feel those. And then you realize, I think this is the key, though, that I noticed what you said. You made a decision about how do you want to show up? And obviously your ex did too, right? Like, we want to co-parent in an excellent way. And so in order to do this, we need to move through this. And now that you're not together anymore, like, everybody's life improves because it's the way it's supposed to be at this point. You're in a loving relationship now as well. And you've got your son. And it's like, it's so beautiful when you make those connections in your mind and in your heart, but it starts with that decision. Yeah. And so I really honor the fact that you did that. Mm-hmm. And what a great example for your son to see.
Exactly.
And
he needs
what is coming?
His mother happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. A happy mom, it makes a happy life. Being a single mom is not easy. I would never ever say that. But it's easier when you're happier. You know what I mean? It's easier when you're able to be stable in your head and you're able to work things. Because us women, we're very, very powerful. We're very, very strong and resilient regardless. Most of us are, right? So for me, I'm top tier when it comes to taking care of my son and making sure that he's the happiest ever. So building a great foundation with his father was top on the line. Like, I just had to. I couldn't be bitter towards that because it didn't make any sense. We loved each other for many years to have our son. So why not just continuously love him the way he is and just move forward? So I chose to do that.
I love that. And it's so beautiful to hear stories like this. We need to hear more of how have people grown after these type of situations, right?
Yeah.
And so now as you're moving into the second half of the year, you've got, like, it's so cool that we're like Cancer babies, summer babies, and it's like, this is like the first of the year. This is really our new year's, right? This is our season.
This is our new year. Yes. Happy New Year to you. Pardon? What did you say?
What's coming up for you?
What's coming up for me? I think more collaborations, like with you and with a lot of other women on their pod. Basically just kind of like traveling, doing more things for myself, being a great content creator, putting out more content out there for Get It Girls with a vision, okay? And what else? I don't know. Right now I am single. So for me, I'm embracing my singleness. I'm really loving the person that I've become within the last few months. I felt a little dark and uneasy earlier in the beginning, but then, I don't know, like I said, the transformation, it's real. Like, everyone's been saying you're glowing, and I think they're right because I'm really, really happy. Like, there's nothing about it. Like, the dark cloud has gone away, and I don't know, maybe it's summertime. I don't know, but yeah.
I love that. I love that. So please let everyone know. Obviously, they can see you on the Instagram where you are here with get_it_girl_xo_vision. That's the Instagram. I'm going to link it in the podcast show notes as well. But please plug your podcast. Tell them where they can find it. When do episodes drop?
Okay, well, there's an episode dropping tonight at 9 p.m. EST. Yes, get into it. Okay, you can catch me on Spotify, Anchor, all the iHeartRadio, all the radio outlets. It's popping. You just go Get It Girl Vision. It will pop up right on top. And yeah, plug in every other Monday. New episodes drop 9 p.m. East.
I love it. Char, this has been a joy. I'm so grateful that you were able to make it on today. And I'm so grateful we were able to talk around our birthdays.
Yes. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Enjoy your day. And I will see you. Okay, girl?
Yes, we will talk soon. Yes. Thanks, Char. And thanks, everyone, for watching and listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.